look so funny from behind.
This world is soft and spinning right before my eyes. In this world she spins around the sun and never does it rise. Oh girl, you were buried with feathers, always tried to hide those things, and I've never seen you flutter those wings by your side. Still come alive at night. You still come alive at night. My mom's hair so raven black, her youth has met its doom. Her hair's still dark as midnight prophecy.
We've got 2 days before camp starts, and I'm just enjoying this sunny day sitting outside on my swing. Patrick and the boys are walking around the yard looking for some bugs that we can feed our baby bird. 2 weeks ago, my mother found a baby bird in the grass that had fallen from its nest. We've been feeding it for the last 2 weeks, trying to help it become more independent. Over the last several days, we have it in like a bird cage hanging up outside in one of the trees, and we opened the bird cage throughout the day. We named him Petrie.
You go without Petrie?
So Petrie's been flying around from tree to tree, but he stays close by, and whenever we come outside and we go, Petrie, then he chirps to us and flies down to us. We've been feeding him these little mealworms. He started eating them up off the ground and not waiting for us to put them in his mouth, which is great, but we still don't know if he can catch bugs on his own. So the boys and Patrick are walking around the yard trying to find some insects that we can put him in a box with and see if he will try to catch them on his own. We also have some robins who built a nest right outside of our kitchen window. So over the last few weeks, we've been watching the mom and the dad bringing things to their babies, and it's been so fun and so cute. We knew we had an owl, and we saw it a couple months ago for the first time, and we were so in awe of it. Like, oh, this owl is so cool. And it would land really close to us and just watch us, and we thought it was so neat and majestic. And then yesterday, the owl went and ate all of the baby robins out of the nest. We were crushed and shocked. Of course, we know owls eat baby birds, but for some reason, that was shocking. Then we realized that there are actually a family of owls in our backyard. So we've got a mom and a dad and at least one baby. And so lately there's been a lot of owl activity because they have been trying to feed their young. They've been watching our rabbit hutch, waiting for a chance to get a rabbit. My sister was talking on the phone outside the other day, and the owl flew right up to her and snatched a snake off the ground in front of her. Now we're like, okay, owls are enemies. So we realized we have this baby bird we've been taking care of, and we're trying to release him into the wild, but we don't want to right now with this family of owls eating all the birds. So now we are trying to teach Petrie fear. The goal was not to have a pet bird or a bird that liked us or would fly to us all the time whenever it heard our voice, but that's what happens. He just expects us to feed him, and he's really friendly. He'll like fly over and sit on your shoulder. So now we're trying to teach him fear. It's just funny to look out the window and see Patrick with Petrie outside being like, bah! Trying to scare him, and he was just not afraid. As I am preparing for Camp NaNoWriMo, I think what I've decided to do, because there are so many distractions around here, I've decided that I'm going to get back to what works best for me, which is waking up early in the morning and doing it first thing in the morning. So I'm not going to do the 5 a.m. Writers Club because I just don't think there's enough reason for me to get up that early, but I'm going to try for 6 and write first thing in the morning.
They still come alive at night. They still come alive at night. One day we shall go wandering, baby, then we'll clear our heads. When they go looking for us, our friends can say we're dead. Your shoes are ready for this journey. Do you have the time to walk with The stranger will think you're pretty till beyond the day he dies.
It is day one of Camp NaNoWriMo, July 2020. This morning I got up at 6 and I wrote about 1,000 words. So my goal for this camp is to write 50,000 words. Right now I'm doing a rewrite of my book based on the feedback that I got from beta readers last summer. And I've just been having a hard time getting through it. So I decided that writing 50,000 words as a rewrite is probably going to be the best bet for me. I still have just shy of 700 words that I still have to write before going to bed today, but I also had a ton of homework. I am a full-time student. I'm only taking 2 classes, but I still have a lot that I need to do this week. Today I went for a walk with Patrick, and then I pretty much just worked on homework for the rest of the day, had some dinner, played with the goats. Now I need to go and write, but I do have some really sad news to share. Today, after I had done my writing, gone for a walk and everything, as I was working on my homework, Patrick came in the room and he was like, Petrie died. And I was like, no, what happened? And we don't know. We just don't know why he died. My mom came out here and he was following her. She was going down to see the goats and he followed her. He's followed me into the goat pen before too and landed in the tree right above me, and I had to save him so none of the goats trampled on him. He was following her down into the goat pen and then he landed on one of these trees over here. She took care of the goats and then came back to him because he had been calling out for her, and then she just found him just on the ground dead, and we don't know why he died.
Poor Petrie.
We're all really heartbroken now because we came to really love that little bird and we really wanted him to be okay. That's one thing about working with farm animals and taking care of animals, is that they die. It's so sad and it's so hard to deal with, especially after you've been caring for them for a certain amount of time. Petrie we were taking care of for weeks. He was in our kitchen and constantly calling out for us, and I used to walk around with him on my shoulder, and just it is so hard. It's just really sad. So I'm feeling sad right now, but I'm trying to just, okay, well, Petrie lived a happy little life. He might have died that first day that my mom found him if she hadn't found him and picked him up. We're just trying to comfort ourselves that he had a happy little life with us and that we kept him as comfortable and as happy as we could. Well, today did not go as expected. I did get up early and I did write, thank goodness, and I got almost my entire word count for the day in. But then, in a moment of weakness, when I was supposed to go out and exercise and start getting my steps in for the day, I laid down on my bed and fell asleep instead. And I'm disappointed by that because it is only day 2. I have been meeting my step count goal since the day before Camp NaNoWriMo, and I'm just so determined not to break that streak. Words I know I can catch up on, but if I don't get my step count for the day, it's like, So now I have to go and get my step count, and hopefully before midnight, because right now it's 11:15. Ah! Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm such a wimp. I'm looking out at this scary view and I'm just imagining zombies coming out and I can't see them until they're right here. Oh my gosh, okay. Keep it together, Rayleigh. Just get your steps. Just get your steps, girl. I made it to 7,000 steps at least. Started off at 2,000 steps for the day and I was able to get 7,000. So that's something. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get 10,000. There just wasn't enough time. But you know what? I'm so proud of myself. I jogged 2 miles for 30 minutes straight. So that's more than I normally do. Normally I would walk, run, but I was trying to get my steps. I can't say that I didn't try. Alright, so maybe staying up late last night to get those extra steps in was not the best idea, because then it just threw off my waking and sleeping schedules. I ended up sleeping in. I wasn't able to get up at 6 o'clock a.m. to write, but I did write first thing when I got up. I was working on my prologue, and then I just finished my epilogue, and what I'm doing is I'm going back and forth from the beginning to the end of the book and working on it that way, just because I'm trying to make the beginning and ending mirror each other really well. But because I woke up so late, it ended up throwing off the rest of my day, and it's past 9 o'clock now, and I'm still working on my homework, which normally I try to make this my free time at the end of the day, so I'm a little bit bummed that I'm still working on my homework, and I have an exploratory essay that I need to write. So right now, I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what I want to write my essay on. I'm excited to work tomorrow on chapter 1 again, and then after chapter 1, I'm gonna go and work on the last chapter of the book. Effect on people. I have so much homework to do. Yay! Such a good job! Such a good job! Let me go, Aunt Rayleigh. Don't make me puke again. I am reading Richard III. Oh. For my English class.
How is it? Is it boring or is it?
No, it's actually really good. It's the first Shakespeare history that I've ever read. Yeah, Shakespeare's writing is so good. It's like, oh, that's why he's so popular.
That's why he's so famous.
It's like writing is hard enough without having to find words that have like multiple meanings and sound good together and have just the right cadence
and double layer, triple layer amazingness of it is the fact that it's like lasted so long and is still so amazing.
Well, yeah, and I watched, our teacher shared a video of the Shakespearean actors who actually act in the Globe Theatre in London, and they decided to try pronouncing everything the way it would have been pronounced back then. And they were like, I never realized there is so much more humor that you miss if you're pronouncing it the way we pronounce it now.
Really?
There's like a lot of words that, because of the way they sound, they end up sounding like something else. And so everything has a double meaning. And oh, look.
That's
more quails. Who just put these here? Was that Darla?
No, Darla.
More quail's eggs. Did you see the baby quails? Quail? Quails.
Well,
the quaily, the quaili, the Rayleigh quaily.
Rayleigh's over there. Shakespeare was a really good writer.
I mean, I've read Shakespeare before.
I know.
Are you going to read Shakespeare with me? Oh. This might be a little too gruesome for you, actually. It's murder and intrigue. I smell that.
I know.
It smells like barbecue. It is the 4th of July, which is Independence Day here in the United States. It's been a little tricky trying to find a time that I can vlog today because we've got family over and we're all having fun right now. You can hear probably that the kids are all on a homemade slip and slide. That's been really fun. I did manage to get up early this morning and do some writing. Well, not early actually. I managed to get up this morning and do writing first thing. I didn't get very many words in though. I think I got like just shy of 400 words in, and then I tried to get as much homework done as I could. So I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of this Independence Day and try to get as many words in as I can tomorrow. So much homework. I just finished the second week of summer term and I am already burnt out on both of these classes I'm taking, which is a bad sign. So I've been writing consistently for about 3 hours every single day, first thing in the morning, and then I've also been dedicating 3 hours every day per class. So altogether, that's 9 hours a day that I'm spending on writing, doing my English homework and my history homework. And I still can't keep up in these classes. And now I'm getting kind of sassy about these classes. This is what happens when you put off finishing school until you're almost 30 years old. In my mind, I'm like, I'm an adult. You can't tell me what to do. And I recognize that, like, I need to be a humble, teachable student. But inside, I'm just feeling super sassy, like, just so irritated by how heavy the workload is in both of the classes, and I feel like the teachers keep adding more and more stuff. They'll like send me the modules for the week, and then as I'm running to get them all done, then they keep sending more, like, oh, also look at this link and also look at this link, and I'm like, stop it with the links! I'm trying to remind myself that I wanted this. I wanted to go back to school and I wanted to be challenged, and I am being challenged now. I'm being stretched. And my initial response to being stretched is always to get super sassy. I always feel that initial resistance to the growth that's happening, and I'm feeling that now. So I'm just trying to calm down the inner sassy Rayleigh and be humble and teachable and remember that this is a good thing and that I'm going to be a better person for doing these really tough classes. One thing I've always admired about other people that I notice in other people is when they can express their thoughts and their ideas in a really clear, succinct, inspiring way. I've always wanted to be the kind of person that could do that, and that's something that I've always struggled with. I have ideas, I have things that I want to express, and I just never know how, and so I end up not saying anything, and I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be a timid person. I want to be the kind of person who expresses what I feel, and to be able to express what I think in a way that makes sense to other people. It's one of the major reasons I decided to go back to college, is because I knew that that's the kind of thing that I could learn in college. And I knew it was going to be hard for me, and I was just all in, ready to go. And I still want that, but it's harder to remember why I wanted that right now when I would rather just be working on my book. So because school has been so rough lately, and I'm realizing that this term is going to be so much more challenging than my last term was, I had to change my Camp NaNoWriMo goal. Even though I've been working on my book for about 3 hours every single day, I still, not a single day this week, managed to meet my word count goal of 1,667 words for the day. I've fallen short every single day. I'm just writing too slowly, and I don't have more time that I can dedicate to the book. And so this morning, after writing for about 2.5 hours, I just bit the bullet and went in and changed my word count goal from 50,000 words to 30,000 words, and that put me on track. So I'm feeling a lot better about that now. I feel like I could really use a victory with Camp NaNoWriMo, especially considering how hard school is right now. And so I just think it's for the best to change my word count goal. And so that's what I've done, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. If there are any other students out there who are doing a summer term that's just kicking your butt, then please comment down below and let me know how you're doing, because man, this is killing me. So I just took a shower. I was trying to remember, as I was in the shower, I was just trying to remember, how does week 1 of Camp NaNoWriMo typically go for me? Do I usually end up changing my goal in week 1? I feel like in the past when I've changed my goal, it's usually been in like week 3 when I realized that it just couldn't happen. I feel like usually during week 1 of Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm just on fire and full of enthusiasm, but maybe that's not true. So I'm just gonna go make some breakfast, and then while I'm eating my breakfast, I'm going to watch my past Camp NaNoWriMo week 1 videos, and I think I'll do that every week this camp. is just watch all of my past videos from that week and compare. See if I notice any patterns of how I tend to feel during that week of Camp NaNoWriMo. Okay, so things that I noticed watching my week 1 vlogs of Camp NaNoWriMo's past. I have about 4 videos that I was able to watch just now, which is kind of crazy. So things I noticed. In the first video, I was just such a cute little wee babe and just had learned for the first time the magic that is waking up early to get the writing done before anything else. That is still the case for me. That is the only way that I can meet my word count goal for the day, or that I can get any writing done at all, is to write first thing in the morning. I'm just not an evening writer. I have a really hard time. Wow, sorry, my hair is crazy because it's wet, okay? Just leave it alone. I have a really hard time writing in the evening. Morning is the best time for me to write, and that is still the case. And that's pretty much something that I tend to rediscover during the first week of Camp NaNoWriMo always, is that, yep, trying anything else does not work for me. It's gotta be first thing in the morning that I do my writing. Another thing I noticed is that I tend to fall into that trap of thinking somehow things were better in bygone days, that somehow I used to be more productive, or I just used to be a better writer, or whatever. And going back and watching those videos, I realized that's not necessarily the case. I definitely had the most enthusiasm for Camp NaNoWriMo the first time I ever filmed it, because it was all new and it was all exciting to me. And then with every Camp NaNoWriMo after that, the newness of it has definitely worn off. Instead of looking at Camp NaNoWriMo as like, oh, it's like this really fun event, I've started to look at it more as a tool. Like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to really focus in on my writing and get as much of it done as I can in as short amount of time as I can, because every other month of the year, other things tend to take priority in my life. But during Camp NaNoWriMo, I give myself special permission to make writing the priority in life. So I think that's why this week I'm feeling a little bit discouraged at the end of week 1, because I'm realizing I have never been in school before during Camp NaNoWriMo, except for last Camp Nano, actually, in April of this year. I was in school, but my classes were super, super lightweight. And so that's a little bit discouraging, just because I realize I can't make my book a priority right now because I have to make school a priority. But that's okay, because I still am putting my writing first thing in the morning, and I just have to be okay with however much I can get done. And whatever I do manage to get done, I'm just gonna celebrate that and not give myself a hard time about it, not beat myself up about it. I'm not working a full-time job anymore, but school is turning into a full-time gig for me. So at least this term. Celebrate what I can do, don't sweat what I can't. For today, I'm feeling better about how week 1 is going for me during this Camp NaNoWriMo. It is officially time to close out this vlog, and I'm looking a little rough because we stayed up watching Hamilton again. No regrets, but it was harder to get up this morning. So for the first 7 days of Camp NaNoWriMo, I got 6,821 words, which is lower than I initially had planned, but I'm actually pretty happy with that number. And then for step count, I got 70,498 steps. So overall, I'm pretty proud of the work that I was able to get done, especially considering all the homework that I had. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Pray, would you come and take a walk with me? We'll cross over the mountains and we'll reach the pale blue sea. I love you, I'm so glad you love me too. And I wrote this song for you. Every word I say is true.